Love, it has been good to me this time around. Things were they were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact and I can find
Hello and welcome to this X-Rad live episode, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xander Media Network, live from an undisclosed location. Yes, you've got it. I'm in Muller's Misery store. Told you so. I'm Xander Gibb, and on today's show, I get on my soapbox and give you the chance to get on yours in our phone in. Chet Martin, anchor and political commentator for Freedom on Deck, joins us to break down this week's hottest topics. And Dr. Gerard Lameire talks the Mueller report and much more. You can have your say in the feed wherever it might be for you. It changes apparently all the time. It might be above, below, to the left, or back east on the East Coast there. You can have your say, and I'll be sharing some of your comments as we go along, so keep them fairly clean, please. Oh, yes, sirree. When we get to the section for the phone in, the number is 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. Apparently the number is across the top of the screen. You can call us on that if you're in the United States or via Facebook Live Messenger if you are in the UK. Oh yes, sirree. I will of course be joining Joe Messina on the real side at 6 Pacific. You can also follow me on social media everywhere but Twitter, because, are you ready for this? And I know you're getting used to these little puns about Jack, but I do love them. Because Jack is a fascist prick who was bullied at school by cheerleaders. Oh yes, sirree. So I'm going to come and say hello to everybody in the live feed. Let's go backwards. Hello to Dave. Hello to Martha. Hello to Mary Elizabeth. Hello to Ron. Hello to Nick. Welcome to the show. Hello to Ben out there in Long Island. Hello to Chet, who is incognito, and we'll ask him why he's incognito a little bit later. Hello to my Gina. Welcome to the show. Chet says, he said, I'm going to be calling you Chad all night now. Chet says, Dr. Lameire is awesome. Absolutely. He's in good company. He is our guest in part 2, and Chet will be with us in, part 1. Hello to, who else? Hello to Rocky. Welcome to the show. From Minneapolis. Great to have you with us. I wanted to share with you some things, because you're always asking me for updates about the UK, because as you know, I'm living here right now, because Theresa May wants yet another referendum regarding Brexit, which is clearly why she sat on her fat fanny for 2 years and did nothing to sort it out. We need Donald Trump here to sort out Brexit. Wouldn't that be wonderful? She's put an end to talk of a no-deal Brexit, damn hair in my mouth, or anything resembling sovereignty being restored to the UK. Shame on you, Theresa Messina, conservative in name only. Now, she's now in bed with the opposition leader, anti-Semite commie Jeremy Corbyn, like he can sort things out for the UK. Can't even sort out his own party. But we seem to have a lot of anti-Semites on the left right now, both here and across the pond. I know you like this part of the show too. Democratic Dumbo of the week. I'm sure you can guess who this is. Democratic Dumbo of the week, and every other week for while she's in office, as far as I'm concerned, is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, glug, 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 for broadcasting live on Instagram while drunk on wine and putting together IKEA packages. Now, I really had to laugh at the level of her commentary. She was so drunk and off her face that, you know, the cow farts that she'd obviously been sniffing to get high were clearly mixing with the wine. But this woman has got to be stopped. Now, someone suggested this to me today. Apparently, I need to move back to New York and to run for office against her. And I'm seriously considering doing it because let's face it, America is brought down by this woman. So we're going to take some of your calls now, whether you want to talk about Brexit, we're going to talk about anti-Semitism, whether you want to talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and how bad she is for the country. You can call us on 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. Now, if you are watching and you haven't done so yet, please click the share button, which is SHARE. It's right next to the comment button. Can you please click that now so other people know that you're watching and they can join our throng and be involved in the conversation? Nick said, did you see the video I posted of her talking to the black crowd and trying to speak in country Ebonics? She's a token, nothing more. No, I didn't see it on your page, but I did see a clip of it. And I think that this woman is kind of prepared to do anything for attention. And all this, and she can tell you this, but apparently she mixes a very good Long Island iced tea, which is the only thing that she's good at as far as I can see. Welcome to CV. Welcome to the throng. Chet says OAC is straight insane. Well, we wouldn't want her to be gay as well. I mean, please, don't we have enough problems in the LGBTQ ABCDFG community? I think we do. Thank you very much for sharing, sir, CV. And all of you who are sharing, I can't see who shared, but I always take a look after the show and see who has shared the show. Hello to my brother Ali over there in NYC. I hope you're doing well. Nick says, well, that's what bartenders do. Exactly. No disrespect. Bartenders are entitled to opinion. But when they're elected to office, they should at least do a little bit of damn research. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? This woman her head is so empty that, words fail me. They really do. Let me give you that number again, 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. And click that share button now. There's been so much going on in the United States this week. We're going to talk about some things with regards to the Mueller report later on with Gerard Lameire. It's been a very long week for me this weekend, and I'm sleep deprived, so I'm running on auto. So if I suddenly start to slip back into my original Russian accent, will someone please send me an email so I can stop? Oh, yes, sirree. Ray said he's free from fake Facebook jail. I'm glad your name is not Chad. Wasn't there a character on some TV show called Chad Sexington? I hate the name Chad. I'm sorry if you're in the live feed and your name happens to be Chad. I really do apologize. Yes, we're going to be talking about Gropey Joe later on how much he is a worry to the Democrats. But I kind of think it's a plus for the right when all of these idiots that are on the left are doing and saying all these ridiculous things. It can only benefit Donald Trump long term, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm pleased about that. Dave says, your hair smells nice, Joe. I thought he was saying that to me, that my hair smelled nice, because it does. It smells like buttercups and cow farts. No, it doesn't smell like cow farts. But I just thought that was in keeping with the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So who is game enough to call in? 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. Call in now, and we will have time to get you on the air before my good friend Chet calls us from Long Island. It's a very Long Island show. tonight. I don't think Dr. Lameire is from Long Island, though. He's from somewhere where mountain time. Is it just me? I can just about work out because people say, Xander, when is the show Eastern time? When is the show Pacific? I can even tell you what time it is in Australia or in the UK, but mountain time? Pfft, no way. Ray says, I thought this was Chet, but everything is spelled wrong. LOL. Yes. Chet says, come on, folks, give us a ring. Yes, indeed, 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. Get on your metal and call us. If you're in the UK and you want to call, you can call via Facebook Messenger Live. So call now. Ray says, epic, I made Zuckerman my bitch after day 2. I'm getting so sick of social media. I'm getting so sick of how as conservatives we are marginalized on social media, and how if you're on the left you can say absolutely what you please, you can threaten to kill any member of the population, but when you are on the right you only have to leave out the correct punctuation, I was going to say pronunciation, and you're in trouble. And that concerns me. Does it concern you? Call us now, 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. I want to try and get at least one call in before Chet calls us. You see, I'm calling him Chet, not Chad. Robert says, hello, Robert. He says, old Uncle Joe wants to be the heat of the pedocrat party. He will never be president. Well, the way I see it is we want the Donald for, 2020 for another 4 years. And then I kind of think we have to review that halfway through. But maybe they'll change the law and allow people to have presidents, even, because presidents are people too, to have more than 2 terms of office. What do you think about that? Should presidents be able to have 3 terms of office if they're good at what they do? I'm going to close the Skype and reopen it if you want to call again. We do sometimes have technical problems. So if that was you calling, I do apologize. Please call back. Nick says she's given up the right for free speech on Facebook. She just wants to speak her mind, and she has 11 accounts. I'm not saying how many I have. Of course, I only have one. I have one. But it's a worry. It really is a concern. We might just get that call in very quickly. If you want to call back, I do apologize for it not going through, but I am not responsible for Skype technology. Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay, so one quick call we can probably get in, 845-363-4747. If you can call very quickly. Hello to my lovely Mel over here in the UK. I hope you're good. CV tried to call. CV, call back. We can get you in for a very quick call. I'm sorry about that. The technology is evading me. Or you can try us on Facebook Messenger. I hope it's going to work now that I've reset it. But it seems to be coming through to my phone, and I can't answer a Skype call on the phone while I'm broadcasting on the phone as well. All this technology. Robert says, no, this is why our founders wrote the Declaration of Independence before the... Hello, welcome to X-Rad Live. You are live on X-Rad Live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is CV Burton. How are you?
Hello, brother. How are you? And what has sparked you to call in tonight? What did you want to say?
Well, I wanted to say I didn't want to see you sitting there waiting for a call and nobody calling in, so I just decided to give you a call just to cheer you up.
Well, thank you so much for that. Did you bring chocolate or pizza or anything like that with you, perchance?
No, but I brought a lot of goodwill.
Good. Well, thank you very much for that. Tell me what's peeved you most this week in the United States. I'm sure it's something to do with the Democrats. Tell us what has bothered you.
Democrats bad, Republicans good.
Yes, for sure.
What I really wanted to say was, don't lose faith in Donald Trump, because if you think he was good in his first term, wait till his second term, because then he's going to really take the gloves off. I
Yes.
assure you.
Yes, I think he's going to need to, because I think that you thought they'd come up with a lot of fake dirt last time. They're going to come up with so much more this time. This is why my show is going to 5 days a week from the middle of May, because ultimately we all need to be getting on that Trump train right now and saying choo-choo all the way to 2020, because this is going to be the biggest fight for America, really. If the Democrats had got in 2016, we would not be having this conversation now. The world would have changed so much for the worse that we would not probably be able to have this conversation now.
Yeah, and you could expect the Democrats to get more and more hysterical the closer we get to, like, the summer of 2020.
Right.
So the Antifa is going to come back out, and all hell is going to break loose, and all these women are going to come out and say Donald Trump touched me.
Yeah. Well, just by the same token, there are so many women already coming out and saying that Joe Biden touched me. I mean, he touched me, and I wasn't even in the same room. So, what does that say for a creepy Joe Biden? I know you're watching, Joe. Keep your hands to yourself, buddy. Oh, yes, sir. I mean, it's kind of, isn't it laughable that the left institutes this, Me Too BS? And it's, then they've got people kind of, commenting on it like Bill Clinton and creepy Joe Biden. I mean, what's that all about?
I think he's so used to his friends in the Democrat Party who are into Satanism and satanic ritual abuse of small children that he thinks what he's doing is very mild. He treats these kids and sometimes full-grown women and old ladies too. He treats them like pets, like they're like dogs or cats.
Right.
He's like petting them. He's treating them like animals.
It's a worry,
I think
because
that's what he thinks of them.
no one has the right to lay a hand on anybody, really, do they? I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine how it would be if we touched everybody we felt like touching? I mean, surely there's such a thing as personal space.
I think you break it up on my end, but I'll just let you go for now, and I appreciate you taking my call, but you're not coming in very clearly, so I can't respond adequately.
Okay, no problem. Thanks a lot, CV. I will speak to you very soon, my brother. Thanks a lot. Take care.
I'll enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I don't know what the problem was there. There are often not production problems, but technology problems. I'm going to go into the intro for my guest, who will be calling soon. This is probably him calling in now, and I'm just going to do his introduction quickly. His name is, of course, Chet Martin, not Chad, and he's the anchor of Freedom on Deck, CBS 94.9 FM News Now, New York, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, political commentator and regular commentator, contributor to X-Rad Live. Please join me in welcoming back to the show, Mr. Chet Martin. Hello, sir. How is the world with you?
Well, this is actually creepy Joe Biden, and I heard you and Mr. C.V. Burton talking about me sniffing around, and my hands back, I will tell you this, back in the 1950s, we all sniffed around, and if I want to put my hands on a 12-year-old girl's midriff, that is my absolute right as a Democrat, and all these far right-wing trollers that are putting these pictures and videos out of me that are absolutely doctored, you should be ashamed of yourself.
So what does your wife think about this? What does Dr. Jill have to say about your wandering hands?
Xander, that's a good question. It's an interesting one, isn't it? This guy is the epitome of a creepy politician in the United States of America.
Right.
It's amazing that the mainstream media pretends like they're shocked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've had videos, pictures, evidence of this guy doing this to little girls. Like I just said, he's got his hand on the midriff of a 12-year-old. And it's all the time with this guy. There's one video where Jeff Sessions was getting sworn in. His grandchild was with him. She looked like she was about 5 or 6. And Creepy Joe comes hovering over, and you can actually see Jeff Sessions swats him away.
It's kind of a worry.
This is very disturbing stuff. And
Doesn't
for
it?
them to make it like, Nancy Pelosi, when Joe was young, that's how you acted. No. Who ever acted that way? When was that ever okay, Xander?
Never. Absolutely never, Imagine as an openly gay person if I started doing that to guys. It would be no different, but what kind of response would I get? So I want to ask you, Chet. So with these repeated allegations regarding creepy Joe Biden on the increase, given the allegations levied at Donald Trump, the fake allegations levied at Donald Trump, I hasten to add, during his presidential bid in 2016, will this influence Biden's standing in the presidential race?
Biden's done.
Good.
Biden's finished. He's done. And, I was talking about this with CV, and he did a real good call with you. And we were talking about it. And actually, this weekend, I just want everybody to know, we got a big guest. We got Jerome Corsi coming on this Sunday, so that's definitely one you're going to want to listen to.
Do your ads at the end, brother. Do your ads at the end.
But, often and loud. But
of course.
That's just the way I am. But, the whole thing with what Joe Biden has done here has been covered up for a long time by some very powerful people. And I honestly think that CV made the point that there's going to be more women coming out of the woodwork with allegations towards President Trump like they did the first time around. But you know what they've never had against President Trump? Picture and video.
Right.
Never. They had one video where he made a comment to Billy Bush that was hot mic'd, and that's all they've ever had. Anything we've ever heard about President Trump was willing women, most of them supermodels, and I think there's a lot of jealousy in some of the people that have attacked him over things that are, to me, really innocent. For God's sakes, he said something. I agree, it was locker room talk.
But let me ask you, let me stop you for a second, Chet.
He wasn't out there grabbing the midriff of a 12-year-old, let's put it that way.
Well, let me ask you, Chet, in all honesty, I've said this many times. I have said far worse in private company about experiences that I've had. And I'm sure most guys have too, whether they're gay or straight. They've made this kind of commentary. And if you are expecting that commentary to be private, you would say far different than you would actually say on the air. Am I not right?
No, you're absolutely right. I think I've said worse to you in discussing, things when we talk personally off the air.
Of course.
Than what President Trump said to Billy Bush back in 2005. And it was back in 2005. And he didn't have a woman. He wasn't sniffing a woman. He wasn't rubbing her shoulders.
No.
He wasn't with an underage girl. This stuff for people. And, I hear people saying this, Xander, and I was kind of disappointed because Mike Huckabee came on and said, he's a great guy. He's never done any. How do you know? There's definitely something wrong with him.
Certainly. There is.
And they go, he's touchy-feely. Really? Well, if somebody touched my children like that, guess what? They'd be on their ass.
Yeah,
Real quick.
I would totally agree.
Really quick.
I'm a very huggy person, but I let people lead on that. I don't go and hug everybody I see, and I certainly wouldn't be hugging people's children. I've said this quite a lot. It's essential in life to not ever put yourself in situations where people can point the finger and say, you did that. Now, as a politician, do you not think that Joe Biden should not be putting himself in those situations where people can even allude to the fact that what he's doing is creepy?
What I'm interested in more than anything is to find out who's really doing this, because let's think about this for a second. He's been doing this his whole career. You can go back to video from 30 years ago where Joe Biden acted the same way that he does today, where he's a sniffer, he's a toucher, he's a groper, whatever you want to call it. Why are the left eating him now? Why is everybody coming out against him? And I'll tell you what I think it is. I think it's because of his son Hunter's involvement with that Ukrainian oil company, and they don't want the blank to hit the fan.
No.
And they're just trying to get him out of the way. He's such a centrist Democrat, even though I think he's a devout communist as well, that now they're fearing that all the lies that happened under Barack Hussein Obama will come out if he's the president, if he's the nominee for the Democrat Party. And Xander, it might be Obama that's behind all this.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me because he's been operating this deep state effort for long enough. Now, let me ask you, it really seems that the Dems have got no front runner, and clearly none of the anti-Semitic sisters can even operate on a fair and level playing field, and with legs up Kamala Harris with her own skeletons. Is this all boost for Trump's winnability in 2020, would you say?
There's no way President Trump loses in 2020. No way. There's not one person out there that's a Democrat that can actually challenge him. And you know what really boosted him? And I don't know if anybody saw this today, but the gentleman that's running, and I use the term gentleman loosely, he's running as an independent. And I believe he's a CEO for Starbucks, and I can't think of his name right now. I'm drawing a blank. But he had made the comment that there is a problem at the border. And he said there is an issue, and President Trump is right. And this guy is a devout Democrat. He's a leftist. And he says we do need to do something about this. This guy's going to grant credence to President Trump. He's going to force people away from the Democrat side of the aisle.
Right.
And you know what's going to happen, Xander? There's a lot of people out there, and some Democrats, that are going to go into the booth, and they might tell you they're not voting for President Trump, but guess what? When it comes time to pull the lever, they will. And that's what's going to happen here.
Right.
And I guarantee you the left-stream media and Antifa and Black Lives Matter and this one and that one, if you think it was bad the first go-around, it's going to get worse.
Right. But don't you think that denotes then that we all need to, as I said, get on and get behind Trump, Mr. Trump, and really support him 500%? Because I'm kind of tired of even before I came on the show tonight, I was being attacked by Republicans, one Republican, with regards to the stuff I put out regarding the show. I mean, haven't we had enough of him fighting and attacking our own? Isn't it time to get down to grassroots and really just start supporting Donald Trump and getting behind, keeping this country great? Because I'm damn tired of it. I'm blocking you. If you cannot get behind me to support my president wherever I live, you're blocked. It's that simple.
Xander, on the left side of the aisle, this is their platform. Infanticide, illegal aliens deciding our presidential nomination and our political nominations throughout the country, because that's why they want to eliminate the Electoral College. They want to give reparations. I don't know about you, Xander, but I've never owned a slave, and I don't know any black people that were ever slaves.
Well, there was that one Saturday when I was in Michigan, but that's a story for a different show.
And then, and we could go down the laundry list of these really far left things that they're parading out there, and they're certainly doing plenty of that. And one of them thinks he's Spanish, and he's not. His name's actually Robert Francis. It's not Beto. And they go out and they promote all these crazy ideas of ripping walls down. They want no borders. They want this Green New Deal. They want all these wild, wacky ideas that were never intended to be installed into a capitalist society like America. And their platform, I'm telling you, they're killing themselves, Xander. It's too far left. You would think that they'd say, you know what, we got to get somebody that's a centrist.
Right.
We got to get somebody like Jim Webb, who actually ran against Hillary last time around, and he was a centrist Democrat. But they're not saying that. No, they're saying, people like that are not the type of candidate we want. We want somebody more like AOC, who's a total nut.
Really? Did you see her on Instagram the other night? Did you see that video of her broadcasting drunk? I mean, she actually made herself look more and more stupid. But, I kind of welcome this because the left it's eating itself. And I'm glad that it's happening. Because to me, what is happening and what has happened even with the Mueller report, I'm going to talk about that with Dr. Lameire when he comes on the show.
And he's fantastic, by the way. He's great.
The best. The best. But what this is doing, this is destroying the left. I don't think that they have a real front runner to stand against Donald Trump. But that's a good thing for us, I think.
Oh, it's a great thing, but my worry is 20, 30 years down the line. That's what I'm worrying about. You know, because when you see AOC chomping down on corn nuts, sipping wine, and I'd like to know, you know, are there any carbons in that wine? You know, should she be drinking that? You know, this green
Was it
steel.
flown in? Was it imported?
Right, but the funny thing about it is she's sitting there and she's comparing global warming to civil rights issues in America.
Yeah.
And that is the most insidious, disgusting, lowly, vile, leftist thing you could ever say. You want to talk about racism, that's racism right there.
Absolutely. But I kind of think she's got no idea. She doesn't have an idea about the real issues. Not only that, but I kind of think she's a little bit dumb. And I don't mean that in a cruel way. Now, I want to change the topic just for a moment because I'm aware of the time. I don't know if you saw this week, but Donald Trump starts to defend Senator Lindsey Graham veered Thursday from the Donald's position and said that he believes the American public should see Trump's tax returns. He said, I think you should release your tax returns if you're running for president in 2020, said Graham. He said, I think everybody should. That's just my view. It'll be good for the country. Should he and will he before the 2020 elections?
I don't know. Lindsey Graham is confusing me. You know, every other day he's for Trump and then he's not. You know what I want to see? I want to see the Clinton Foundation's tax returns.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's what I want to see. They're like, oh, well, we gave you Hillary's. Yeah, well, we didn't see the Clinton Foundation, who, by the way, stole hundreds of millions of dollars from the Haitian people. And they didn't build any hospitals. And they didn't give them these X-ray facilities that they promised.
No.
And guess what? Chelsea got a hell of a wedding out of it.
She did. She did. But don't you think now that the Mueller report is in, it actually gives the Donald the opportunity to file charges against these people because these things can be evidence. You know, they got in very quickly while he was trying to fix Obama's mess with Mueller being appointed to investigate Donald Trump. They pulled a Swiftie with that, and now it's time for the tables to be turned, not as an act of revenge, but to bring justice back to the United States. Because we need to see justice be done. Because otherwise, why are there people still in jail for petty crimes like smoking pot and things like that, when Hillary is walking the street?
Well, I think President Trump is holding all the cards here. He's playing,
I do.
And I know a lot of people say this. He's playing chess while everyone's playing checkers, and he likes to stand in the back. I'll tell you what he's doing. He's waiting for the re-election. That's when he's going to drop all this. I think he can win regardless. I don't think any of this is going to change any of that. I think you're going to have President Trump for another term, which is going to be a great thing, and then hopefully we can make even more progress on the border, more progress with the economy. He just added like another 200,000 jobs, and it just came out in CNBC released this report. The economy hasn't been this good since the days of Ronald Reagan.
No.
And you know, the left likes to call him a traitor. He is a traitor. You know what he's a traitor at? He's a traitor with import and exporting, and something we haven't had is a GDP where it's at right now at 4 point over, just like love the slogan because it is true. He has done it. And what we have to make sure, and all of you folks listening, listen to me. You have to make sure that you tell everybody to vote for President Trump. Because
Absolutely.
We can't take, you know, as much as I want to say, Xander, that he's going to get reelected, we can't sit on our hands. We can't do that.
Exactly. And this is why I said, and we're going to have to finish on this point, I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell us about this weekend show. But this is why now is the time to actually get off your ass. Yes, I did say ass. And do something, America. Or do you want the Democrats to remain in the House and to actually take the Senate too? That is how scary this is. I want to leave it there. You can make a very quick comment about that in response, and then tell us about who's on your show this weekend, because I think that was Dr. Lameire calling in early.
Well, I just want everybody to go check out freedomondeck.com. You can find out everything there. We are a terrestrial FM radio program. This weekend at Sundays from 3 to 5, you can live stream it right on our site, freedomondeck.com. And we're going to have Dr. Jerome Corsi. We have Alex Newman from The New American coming on. And it's going to be a big show. It's one of our biggest guests ever. And the show just keeps getting bigger and better. And you can see Xander's on the page. Everybody's listed there. And we're pretty proud of it. So go to freedomondeck.com.
Absolutely, and make sure you check them out. Go and check out freedomondeck.com. And this weekend, 3 o'clock Eastern on Sunday for 2 whole hours. Make sure you join them. But for now, thank you so much, my friend, my colleague, the one, the only, Chad Chestington Martin.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks a lot, brother.
God
Take
bless.
care. So make sure you check out their show this weekend. I'm going to get right into Dr. Lameire's introduction. He's a PhD, an author, political analyst, and expert on forecast models. Dr. Lameire is the author of 5 books and has been called by media hosts America's #1 political analyst. And he will be calling us back very, very soon. I hope. Oh, yes, sorry. I am moving soon. I'm not going to tell you where, but I am moving soon, and we're going to have a purposely built studio in where I moved to, and we will have a call screener. Oh, yes, sirree. So we won't have these problems in the future. Oh, no, sirree. So I'm just waiting for Dr. Lameire to call in. Robert says, it starts in your state government. If your state is run by liberals, like my state, we all have to fight to turn them red again. We absolutely do. And now is the time to be starting to do that. And I am convinced, and we'll ask Dr. Lameire about this, that if the Mueller report had been in before the midterms, that the Democrats would not have been able to take the House, because they've done this dishonestly. But let's face it, the Democrats do absolutely everything dishonestly. And I don't like to generalize, but there are very few Democrats that are not dishonest. The ones that are honest are coming over to our side and becoming Republicans. You know my history, folks. You know I was a Democrat. I was a lifelong Democrat. But when you actually do leave the Democrats, when you start questioning things, they don't like that. They're very anti-gay. They only support gay people that support them. But once you've moved away from their camp, no pun intended, they basically the fabulous Dr. Lameire. Hello, sir. How is the world with you? Hello? I lost him again. Let me just tell Dr. Lameire to call back. I don't know what is going on. Technical problems. Good night, Martha. Take care. Yes, we are keeping America great again. I'm just waiting for Dr. Lameire to call back so we can discuss, talk a little bit about the Mueller report and how that is going to affect people's response in the 2020 elections. Because what you would hope is that now some people on the left are actually saying that this was all fabricated and kind of just made of nothingness, that more people will be coming over to the right and voting for Mr. Donald J. Trump. So what do you think out there? Do you think that Mr. Trump would be cool with people still referring to him as the Donald? I think he would, because he seems like a cool guy. I am waiting for Dr. Lameire to call us back. He should call us back any second. And while we do that, let's listen to some soothing music. I'm joking. Let's not listen to some soothing music. One of the things that really jumped out at me this week, apart from the Ocasio stuff and the crazy, creepy Joe Biden stuff, is how the United States and the United Kingdom tend to mirror one another. Apparently, it looks like I am stop action, whatever that means. If the feed stops, it's not because of anything that I'm doing. It could be to do with Facebook, but mostly it's to do with your internet connection. Just wondering where... I don't know what's going on with... I don't know what's going on with Skype tonight. It really is... it's problematic in some areas, but I guess it's run by liberals, so what do you expect? Chad, oh gosh. Chet says President Trump is the reason that our veterans are now being treated with respect by our VA institution. Absolutely. You actually, if you're looking for someone to blame for Xander Gibb being a Republican, being a conservative, anyway, because I'm kind of a bit... Hello, Dr. Lameire, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, thank you. Welcome to the show. I'm so sorry we've had some technical problems tonight with Skype, but I'm glad we have you now. Welcome back to the show. How is the world with you? And tell us exactly where in the United States you are, because I know you're on Mountain Time, but that's kind of a little bit of a foreign language to me, Mountain Time.
Yes, so we're on Mountain Daylight Time. Daylight because that's roughly equivalent to British summertime.
Right.
And we change on a different day. I am at about 5,000 feet above sea level.
Wow.
I'm adjacent to the Rocky Mountains that are about 8 miles from my office. And it's a beautiful place. A beautiful place. It
Wow.
has the largest number of restaurants per capita in the United States.
I think I would love that, really. I do kind of tend to like my food. So I want to jump right in, sir, because we lost some time because of the Skype problems. But I want to talk a bit about, obviously, the Mueller report is in now, and it's kind of all but exonerated President Trump. And I wondered, number one, what you thought of this, because obviously it was a whole load of procrastination. But what does this spell out for 2020?
Well, first off, my thought of the report is if 40 FBI agents and other professionals and 19 anti-Trump Democrat lawyers couldn't find a crime that he did or couldn't find collusion, it certainly would appear that there was no evidence to support their claim.
Right.
My feeling on the Mueller report was there's nothing more than kind of a sham to redirect attention away from Hillary's antics. I'm talking about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And her campaign antics, where she apparently did involve the Russians in the Trump dossier.
Yeah.
And so many other assorted things that it's hard to list them all in a short program such as yours. We would need the rest of the evening.
For sure. The rest of the year, probably.
Yeah, it could be. But at any rate, regarding your second question, the impact on the presidential election, well, Trump got about a 3% boost, and not only in the polling, which I think tends to record things low, but also in my forecast model, forecasting presidential approval. And it would appear like he is on track, sort of a glide path to an easy re-election victory. Currently, my forecast model has him at 367 electoral votes, and the challenger at 151 electoral votes. It should be a larger win in 2020 than in 2016.
Right. So let me ask you, do you feel, I don't want to kind of really talk in terms of stupid and clever, but don't you have to be, as a Democrat, rather stupid right now to still be buying these claims about how bad Donald Trump is, given his exoneration and given the example of what a good job he's done as president to date?
Well, I think they're actually foolish because they have won many elections over the years with the old socialist approach, which is you don't debate issues, you condemn the opponent.
Right.
That's a strategy goes back to the 1920s with socialism. Have it documented, and that it's their style. But what they don't realize is it's no longer working. People are sort of caught on. We're living in the internet age where information is much more easily available and more transparent than in the old days when there were only a handful of media outlets that basically edited out whatever they didn't like.
Exactly.
But nowadays, people are dropping, viewing certain media outlets. They're having to lay off editors and reporters and others because their business models are breaking. People are saying, no, I don't need to subscribe to this one or that one because I don't get accurate news. I get fake news, and people know it's fake. You can fool them once or twice, but when they see story after story repudiated, they start looking elsewhere for their news.
Absolutely. And I kind of think this is where shows like this show and Freedom on Deck and The Real Side with Joe Messina and Andrea Kay's show, this is where we have a niche in the market because we're out there to kind of present the facts, not our opinion as facts. And I think that is where independent media sets itself apart from the mainstream media nowadays.
Absolutely. I don't know if you're aware of it, but in the United States, 93 million Americans listen to the radio. Talk radio is extremely popular, and a lot of people think it's more truthful because it's more democratic in the sense that there are many, many hosts, all of whom have their own unique opinions, but most of whom are conservative and are speaking what they believe to be the truth, and a lot of their listeners believe them.
Right. So, it's kind of interesting because you're right about the age that we live in, and it truly was due to me kind of researching what I was being told by the Democrats, which made me leave. Because every day the Democrats spoon feed things to liberals that they want them to believe that they don't go and check out. But I think that we all should be checking out whatever we're told by, even by our own politicians. We should want to clarify this information. Would you not agree with that?
Well, I think everybody in the search of truth, knowledge, needs to, basically challenge information and certainly get multiple sources. That I myself do that. I read both sides because I want to know what they're saying, even if I think one side is often wrong.
Absolutely. Because you can actually you can always tell, as far as I'm concerned, when you read about a story on certain news outlets, you can tell where their slant is and kind of who's paying the bills or what the politics are of the person paying the bills for that outlet.
Absolutely. You can also tell stories when there are no sources. You have to question when people say people close to so-and-so or close to this topic are saying this. Well, that to me is not as corroborated as when somebody actually speaks and puts their name on it.
Exactly.
And so I think, there's so many of those stories that a day later, 24 hours later, we find out that they were false to begin with.
Exactly. And I think some people are very gullible and kind of listen to those things. An unnamed source said last week that I weigh 100 pounds, but it does not make it true, does it?
No, not hardly.
So you actually, and I say this each time you come on because I kind of think it's amazing. Even though those of us that were behind Donald Trump in the lead up to the last elections were kind of not sure what the outcome was going to be, you predicted the win for Donald Trump last time, didn't you?
Yes, and I not only predicted the win, which I believe is one thing you do, but I also predict each of the elections. In the U.S., there are 3,000 counties, and there are 50 states, plus the District of Columbia, and 2 states, Maine and Nebraska, actually don't even vote that way by state. They vote by state, but they also vote by congressional district. So there are actually somewhere around 57 different presidential elections, and I forecasted all of them, and every state that Trump carried, I predicted correctly.
Wow. So what? I kind of, I've gleaned from my conversations with you, and I've had quite a few now. You don't sit with a crystal ball, predicting these things, or look at tea leaves and things like that. As far as I know, what methodology do you use in order to be able to make these correct predictions?
I picked up a really good dartboard at a London pub. No.
I'm not sure there are any good dartboards in London pubs anymore because they're worried about health and safety. Darts flying off into people's heads.
No, actually, I'll give you the quick answer, and for your listeners who want the big answer, my fifth book, More Great News for America, which came out last year, answered the question because so many people have asked it just as you have. And with that many people asking it, I wrote a book that answered the question. But what I do is forecast models. A poll, you call 1,000 people, and you try to superimpose a demographic model of the country, and you extrapolate results. And there are many problems, which I also point out in that book, More Great News for America. And what I do is different. I look at different statistics and different things, some of which I pioneered in, and I try to project what voters are going to do, and not where they believe they are today, but where they will be on election day or that month of time before election when they actually do voting. We do voting over a period of time in some jurisdictions. But I look at things, I'll give you a few examples, such as I think I pioneered in the concept of voter intensity. Voter intensity is if you tell somebody I'm voting for Hillary Clinton today, or maybe updated to today's election coming up, if you say I'm going to vote for Bernie Sanders in 2020, what is the probability you will follow through and actually vote for him on 2020?
Right.
And that voter intensity is, for somebody like Hillary Clinton was very low, but for Trump was very high. Made all the difference in the world. But there are lots of other variables out there. For example, the rates of change, and I'm talking about first derivative in calculus for those who are mathematically inclined. The rates of change of registration statistics is something. And even the second derivative of registration statistics gives us information. There are many, many variables that I have available to me and that I've pioneered in developing that gives me a sense of where the electorate is moving. So I forecast long-range trends, short-range trends, intermediate trends, and in particular, the presidential election and where things are trending, where the people are moving as we head toward the election. And right now, Trump continues to build steam toward that election. The Democrats continue to lose steam and lose momentum. And I do believe there's going to be a third-party candidate that will run, but right now they show only 0 electoral votes, so they're not going to have any impact.
No. So I kind of, my final question for you, because I'm aware of the time, is that how much of an impact do you feel things like the Mueller report, the disproving of several allegations are ongoing with regards to President Trump, and the fact that he's done an amazing job? How big an impact does that have on swing votes?
Well, first of all, the number of people who are truly swing votes at this stage, this will surprise you, is less than 10%.
Really? Wow.
And they're not swinging much at all. In fact, most of them are staying home right now. And so there are very few swing votes. People have pretty well made up their mind, and most of them are going for Trump. In terms of the Mueller report, it actually gave Trump a boost toward the election, but it really didn't help the Democrats at all. And them keeping it alive, they're doing more damage because people are thinking it's just strictly politics at its worst, and they're just harassing a president who's actually done a good job. So
absolutely.
It's hurting the Democrats. It's helping Trump. But but it's not impacting the results of the election. Right now, as I said, it looks like Trump is on a glide path into an easy victory.
Good, absolutely. Well, we are out of time, Dr. Lameire. Once again, apologies for the technical problems. It's always wonderful to talk to you. Please tell people where they can find out more about you, and more importantly, where they can buy your books.
Sure. Well, greatnewsforamerica.com. Greatnewsforamerica.com is my website. I have 5 books. They're all on Amazon, available in print, and also available in Kindle. And, of course, you can buy it from any stores and that, but if it's not in stock, these days there's so many books, bookstores have a hard time stocking them all.
Absolutely.
But it is orderable, too, if it's not in your local bookstore.
Brilliant. Listen, thank you so much once again, Dr. Lameire. All of Dr. Lameire's contact information is on the X-Rad Facebook page for today. Make sure you go and check him out and go and buy his book. It is a fantastic read. All 5 of them are. Thank you so much, Dr. Lameire. Have a wonderful weekend, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Talking.
Join us again, too. Take care. That was Dr. Gerard Lameire. Make sure you check him out. Thanks to everyone who's made today's show possible. Thanks to you for watching and listening, and thanks to everyone in the live feed. Please be sure that if you've not pressed share already, that you press it before you go, or I have to rip off my wig and do my Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez impersonation. Thanks to Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. Make sure you go and check out his show this weekend. That's Sunday, 3 till 5. Check out freedomondeck.com in order to get the links and everything else. Don't go away. Do stick around. I'm going to be on The Real Side with Joe Messina in just a few minutes. Go grab a cup of tea or a scotch or whatever floats your boat. Remember, Donald Trump is our president, and we are very lucky to have him. Make sure you get on that Trump train and say choo-choo. And I will see you next week. And I really do love you all, every single one of you. Bye-bye.
Nothing has been good to me this time.